So, I can't tell what's worse. The slime that Cry most likely released and could be an apocalypse level threat, or his wife that he doesn't remember marrying, but I'm firmly convinced Liz is under the impression they are married. She might be the most crazy yandere in recent memory, and I really didn't think she could surprise me anymore, because she really did look like she was on a warpath in the previous episode. But she actually was going to kill Tino this episode, and that's not an exaggeration. She said die. I believe that word die. Tina wasn't moving. Her face was on the ground, face first. That boot would have connected and there would have been pop goes the weasel. I won't deny the fact that Cry truly is the glue that keeps these lunatics together, but Jesus, that's even worse than I thought. Just when you think like, oh no, like, we got a good idea of like how bad this can be. There's a scientist who casually can make a apocalypse level slime and gives it to our boy because sure, trust the leader. And then there's another who will do anything for him, but you piss her off and Jesus, rip bozo. I have full live reactions over on Patreon if you want to see my mind break to this Grieving Soul greatness. It's over there exclusively. So, Sea Tree Slime. 2 episodes back, he threw like a capsule, right? I wasn't sure exactly what the necklace was, but nothing really looked like it happened. And at first when I saw that, I thought, I was like, okay, it just kind of looked like a smoke bomb. Turns out, when he opened it during the whole rescue mission, nothing inside. Whoops. So, obviously didn't do much. So when he initially went into the vault, the girl, who's like kind of like the secretary type person, seemed very concerned about taking the necklace. And we learned that it's Sea Tree Slime. It's a slime that was made by one of the members. And based on the flashback, it seems like it is quite literally meant to be an apocalypse level threat. That if you unleash it, it could very well destroy everything in the town. Now, should something like that casually be made? Probably not. Should something like that be given to a boy who's so lazy he passes his work off and very well could easily forget where he left it, like losing his keys? Probably not. But hey, is what it is. Now, we can't say for sure he is the reason the slime's not in it. It could be a situation where, maybe it's like a Pokeball. Maybe if you don't let your Pokemon out for enough time, they just, they die and decay. Who knows? I don't know the science behind this slime, but I'm gonna believe it's one of two things. Either between him putting it into the safe, or him removing it from the safe, he did something. It wasn't on tight enough, he tripped, I don't know, but I am firmly convinced Cry's the reason that slime is gone. And if not, I will take it back when the time comes. But given the fact that he did send Tino and the others on what is worse than even a normal suicide mission because he doesn't read paperwork, forgive me for not maybe having faith that he's not responsible for the bullshit that's probably about to happen. I actually thought it wasn't a dream when you saw the slime, destroying everything. I was like, yep, that probably makes sense. It probably will actually be something similar to like a Rimuru level slime, and it's just going to be a bundle of chaos. I'm sure something like that could happen. But as it stands, either they're going to do one of two things. Very quickly, that slime's going to cause chaos, or it's going to be an ongoing fear of, damn, I really wish I knew where that slime was, and we're not going to know about it for seasons on end. I don't know. But the main thing that freaked me out in this episode was what Liz was doing. So our boy casually walks in, and this group's like, hey, can you, get them to stop? We can't really train in here. At first, I didn't realize she was wearing a mask, so, when she initially raises her head, I thought it was blood at first. The way it was framed at first, I was like, Jesus Christ, she has her bone popping through her face. I wasn't sure what the hell happened. But it's the fact that I'm not saying the tough love isn't an answer and won't get results, and I'm sure Tino is going to rise above, but you can't deny, had our boy Cry not come to regroup them in that moment, she would have died. She is not a good leader. She's not a good person to train because ultimately, you're not as good as me when I was your age. You're pathetic. You got talent, but it's like, a little positive reinforcement does go a long way. It does. And honestly, I felt my life flashing before my eyes when he was getting the death glare. So he walks in and says, "Hey, that's enough." And the way she looks at him like, "Are you stopping me?" Instant chills up my spine. I'm like, here's the thing. There's a lot of really scary characters, especially in the yandere department. Go watch Higurashi and you can see how crazy these bitches can be. But I would honestly argue Liz is scarier than any Higurashi psychopath when they go crazy. There's something so unhinged and dead behind those eyes that if it's just focus on the love that she thinks she has for our boy, yeah, I mean, she's aggressive, but at least, you know, she's putting up a fight, defending his honor. But there's something that, like, if he insulted her, one of two things would happen. She would cry and be heartbroken because, oh my god, I love him so much. Or his head would be cut off so fast you didn't see it coming. She is a lunatic. And the worst part is I'm not even sure if she's the craziest one on this team. Because there's different levels of crazy. At face value, she might be the most at face value psychopath. But Ceetree's out here making slimes that could casually open at a moment's notice and cause Armageddon. How is that even any better? I don't know. And then you have the actual main plot stuff getting pushed a bit more here. I mean, I do love how Lucky Cry is as a character. Like, that whole bumping in scene, and then when he runs off, like, oh my god, he must know more than he lets on. How far ahead is he? Like, Jesus Christ, talk about the Sid Cogano route of basically, like, stumbling into the plotline without meaning to. But then you have, like, all the mad scientist stuff going on, which is really compelling. Like, at the end of the day, this actually felt more like a setup episode, kind of a downtime slice of life, get everything regrouped. But it still managed to have the unhinged comedy that we've come to know and love about this show, and I very, very much enjoy it. I'm liking this show a lot. It's one of the sleeper hits for sure this season, and it's kind of criminal how, like, undervalued it is on certain sites. Like, I know I don't put a lot of, like, faith and, you know, respect on, like, a My Anime List score, but it is kind of crazy because it does represent, like, at least the Western kind of audience in terms of how they're looking at anime, and I'm surprised this one ain't, like, an 8 out of 10, because this is legitimately enjoyable, funny, fresh take on it. And honestly, as much as Cry might frustrate you with his laziness, he's like the perfect MC for this show, and I wouldn't have him any other way. Let me know what you thought down below. Did you expect Liz to be this bad? Because I expected her to be a psychopath, but I wasn't expecting her to want to kill Tino like an episode later again. Like, that caught me by surprise. But thoughts down below. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're around here, of course, ring that bell. Like I mentioned, we got full live reactions over on Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. So today we got Danny0119, Coconut Gang, Mimian, Brian, and we also have Emil Edberg. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and you all have a good one.